Hey, good morning, everybody. So it's Sunday now. I am headed over to the bus. It's a nice chilly morning here in Florida, but the sun is out and it is warming up. So by the time I get over there, I'll be able to take the sweater off. Anyway, hoping that Corey can show up today, our plumber. He said he would, but who knows? He's a busy guy. So yeah, I'll just be patient, and if he doesn't show, I have plenty else to do. Otherwise, hopefully get that tank mounted today, maybe cut an inlet hole. We'll see what happens. Anyway, follow along. Thanks for following this journey of ours, and I'll catch you over there. Okay, so in the bus, filled my cooler with ice. Let me show you what I did last night. I installed our stereo up here, cut a hole, it's nice and tight in there. I can even put some screws in there if I need to, but I'll need to access all that to figure out any auxiliary stuff that I'm going to hook up. I also mounted our CB radio. It's an old school Cobra 29 classic cross country. So basically I just reconfigured. There was a bracket on the back of this going up and around, and I just took some of these angles and used the same screw, put a washer in front so it's nice and tight, and then screwed into the side of there and there. And I've also got some drilled holes, you know, for the top. Same thing with that. I need to get a mic and external and internal speakers, and then this will be complete and I'll be able to tune it. What else? Oh, I put a sticker on our little birdhouse. I think that's kind of cute. This whole area here, this console, I will probably put some wood laminate all the way around all this and trim it all in. But like I said, I do need access to this and behind this before I can seal this all up. And then that should be good to go. Let's see what else. I cleaned up in here a little bit. Just a little bit. It's definitely a big hot mess in here, but I think we have enough empty space back here to work on this plumbing today. I'm just hoping Corey shows up at a reasonable time so we can get started. So yeah, that's pretty much the update for now. Follow along. It shouldn't be too long of a video, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for joining me for another one. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so below. Like the video if you like it, of course, and leave a comment. Love to hear from you. So what Corey's doing now is teeing off of our shower valve and into our bathroom, and we're running run forward to put an outdoor shower right here. Now I'll probably get some guff for this, and I know it's probably not recommended, but I want this box as out of the way as possible, so I am going to go ahead and cut this part. And if I need to take that out and reinforce it with some heavy duty steel later because I screwed up, then so be it. But it's better than having it up here interfering with the Romex and everything else. Cut another hole in the bus. It's not anything yet. I'm just leaving it in there so the cats don't get inside the bus. But we got a hot water shower outlet. Will be in there, and probably a hook or something near the door, or maybe on one of these window sills. Just a little hook where I can do a quick disconnect hose with a shower head on it. That way we can unmud our feet going into the bus and give the dogs baths outside the bus if we need to, or maybe just give it a bath with a long hose, whatever. But I'll have a outside outlet, so that's very nice. Catch you guys tomorrow most likely. Cut back in then. Thanks for joining me again. What's up, people? Another day, another job to do in the bus, or a few jobs to do in the bus. I've got this angle aluminum. It's pretty thin, like 1/16 of an inch, but I'm gonna put it, I need to trim this out on the top here, so I think that'll work perfectly. I'm just gonna pop some rivets through there, try to get my angles correct. I may need to get another piece because this thing is pretty long all the way around, but that's one project going on. Another one that I need to do is our gray water tank underneath. Uncover that and unbolt that and then redo that. What else am I working on? I need to create some kind of bracket to hold our filter in place. The filter's laying around here somewhere, but this is for our the heater near the door. That's pretty much the only heater left that we have in the bus. There's this vent up here. It's kind of wonky, but I'm going to make sure that I can slide that filter in where it's supposed to go. So I was basically ripping down some wood. So yeah, there's a few little things before I can get back to the plumbing. Yesterday we put in this box. It's just temporary right now. It's just kind of wedged in there. I might clean up that metal a little bit and try to figure out a way to seal that up as well from the inside and outside. We'll use some marine adhesive most likely, but I may put some trim around that, some metal trim to fit that box tight. Like this aluminum stuff would probably work good in there if I just you know, butt it up snug, maybe drive some rivets through it, or build a frame around the outside of it, because we don't want any water getting in there, or critters or anything like that. After that, basically securing the freshwater tank in place. Of course, it's going to get switched over like that with the rubber mat underneath it. I've got 2x4s and everything. Then I'm going to brace everything in place. I'll probably end up doing some ratchet straps over top of it. I'll try to film as much of this as I can. The bus is a mess, of course, as usual, but it's getting closer and closer to being able to insulate this thing, spray foam insulate it, and start our framing. We will do some framing on the shower wall that will hold the valve in place, and that way we can pressure test this thing. Another thing I did yesterday was cleaned up this spotlight that I've got, a secondhand. The base of it was all gunked up with butyl and dicor and stuff, so I scraped that and grinded it down and put some of that high temp silicone paint on there. It's like engine paint. So I'll at some point mount that to the roof and have the wiring coming through. We'll figure it all out anyway. So yeah, this is where I gotta unbolt. I don't know about both sides, but at least one side to get this side down, because if you look under here, it's kind of hard to tell. So yeah, it's kind of kinked there, and I don't need that. So what I'm gonna do is loosen this up. It looks like I've got enough threads to bring this down, and then what I'm gonna do is just take out a couple of these bushings that we made for this, because that's what's pushing it up, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. It's the only place where the tank is really kinked, so I'm gonna work on that now. Okay, I won't know for sure if this is finished until I fill it with water and make sure it doesn't leak anywhere, but I took out a couple of those little bushings we made. There's a gap there now, so it should reform back into the way it's supposed to. And this is nice and tight on there now. I may put some thread locker on here at some point, you know, just to make sure that those nuts don't wiggle loose or anything with the vibrations. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's good. Nice. Nice. It's just easier to make marks like this. Cut those two off. Alright, so I got this little frame made. Split a little bit. I may end up just asking them to, over at the aluminum place where we're gonna get our window screens made, if they'll just make me a frame out of aluminum. But it was fun. It fits in there nice and snug, that's for sure. Well, at least now it doesn't fall down. Pretty cool, I'd say. Another project down, whole million more to go. Now I've got this crazy mess. I'm gonna clean that up and attempt to put on this metal trim onto the edge of that doghouse cover. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so not too shabby. A few little seams over here, but I can live with that. I'm gonna need some longer rivets for the top, but we got it riveted in the side. The curves look good, and no sharpness or anything in that corner, so that's good. Yeah, I think that'll work. Nice and tight, gives me some trim. I may stick a bead of sealant in there if I can keep it neat enough. We'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, I got some trim on my doghouse cover now, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so what I got going on here is I basically am sitting here and drinking a fantastic key lime LaCroix without even looking. That's basically where I want my cup to land. So I set my cup holder there, and I'm just going to drill right through the middle of this thing to make a little pipe hole, and that should be fine. Make sure I'm centered in there. So now I've got a center hole where I can put a giant circle hole cutter through there and hopefully not destroy this thing to shreds. I'm gonna pray. Pray with me. All right. I got this giant hole saw on here. Say a little prayer for me. I hope it doesn't tear up this stuff too much. I gotta go real slow. Here we go. Try it out. Yeah. Let's put some glue around there. And I got my cup holder. Clean it all up. And check another thing off of our giant list. That's how it goes. It's been about a month and a couple days since I did an update, and I've been stalled out on this project for that long, and it's a very sad state of affairs when you think you got people that are willing to jump in and help and passionate about what they do and reliable first and foremost, and then all that falls apart. So the plumbers that I found that were here in the last video have not shown their faces again since that first little installment. So yeah, I had to reach outside of that network, and good friend of ours, Pete, should be here later today if I can get what I need to accomplish. He came by and looked at the bus and showed, you know, some good interest, and went over a few of the things that I need to get done, and said no problem doing it. Shouldn't be that bad at all. And so he's willing to jump in and help me, which makes me very happy. But it's just one letdown after another with these people, because I've had, this is like the third or fourth plumber, whether they're licensed or not, or just knowledgeable, that has dropped the ball when I needed them most. So that is life. Hopefully this video is not too confusing with the last little bit of footage from a month ago that I did of cutting that hole down there, of putting trim on here, installing those things up there, doing my outlets and stuff here. There's just so much going on this bus, but trying to make sense of it all. I'm trying to get some good reliable help with it, and I don't think I should have another problem, because Pete seems like he wants to jump in here and help me, and we'll do that at whatever cost that takes. All right, so down here I've got two pieces which come out perfectly. I'll probably get like 4 or 5 pieces in there. It's not the prettiest job, but it'll work. 2x4 there. I've completely adhered that piece of original subfloor plywood to the bottom of it and made sure not to go through my PEX that was already there. I will clean this up eventually, or maybe just leave it. I ended up spray foaming the bottom anyway to the bottom of the shower so there's no draft coming in. This little piece right here is just holding it down to the subfloor because there's nothing holding it in place there besides the grate stuff. So I think that'll work for now. I'll have to unscrew that, clean all this up afterwards, frame out this wall, figure out this radius, and get a mixer valve. I'll probably grab that on the way home. And then the other thing I did, put a 2x4 in front of this tank, edge to edge, and then in back from that edge over to where all of our PEX is going to run through there for a pump and everything, and try to squeeze it all nice and compact there, but still accessible. And then need to fasten these pieces of wood down with some big heavy duty lags going through the subfloor. I might even go through the actual metal of the bus of the metal subfloor underneath. But basically I put a 4x4 in here, just short for now, just a short piece, just to see how it would fit. It's the perfect fit, so I'll have extra bracing around the tank, and that's going to also be our bed frame supports, so nice and solid as far as that goes. It's not going to get in the way of any of our storing needs because all of this mat all the way back to here will be enough to put some totes in here, probably 4 or 5 of them. So yeah, just getting this whole thing situated. So yeah, I got it teeing out of the wall now, and backers behind it, so it's nice and solid on there. I think that's going to do it for today. Pete's going to come back tomorrow and probably help me frame that wall out and figure out how to brace this tank in place and start cutting that hole and running copper. We'll probably do our plumbing first and then run the propane, and then make sure we've got hot water after everything's pressure tested and hooked up. So that's basically what's happened here today. And this video is going to be kind of long because, you know, there's a few other days packed into it. That's a lot of windows. And I only had maybe a third of them up. I'm going to go lock the back door and then we're out of here. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Alright. Gotta find my keys. Unplug the extension cord out there. Zip up the portable garage. Lock the bus. Turn off everything. Grab my phone. Get my cold drink. And we're out of here. Create your own utopia. Start today. What are you waiting for?